Are you an indie filmmaker who longs to create Hollywood-level shots, but don't have the Hollywood-level budget? You're in luck because GVM has a budget-friendly 300-watt bicolor monolight that lists for less than half of the average film light of similar power. This is the GVM SD300D bicolor LED monolight. Worried that 300 watts isn't enough? We'll show you just how powerful and versatile this budget-friendly filmmaking tool can be. To put this light to the filmmaking test, let's use it as our main source for 3 different cinematic setups. Like the old adage says, it's not how expensive your tools are. What matters is how you use them. Oftentimes we're asked by those just starting out in indie filmmaking endeavors, what's the best camera to buy? And to that, I would say it's usually more beneficial to first invest in a quality lighting setup, as without good lighting, a cinematic look is non-existent. Any gaffer and director of photography will tell you that cinematography and lighting go hand in hand. A great way to think about cinematography is from the perspective of painting with light, as any great shot is achieved by strategically highlighting and shadowing certain elements within your scene. For our first setup, I'm doing one of my personal favorite looks, which is a soft, top-down bounced key look. This visual feel is reminiscent of a soft Renaissance painting, in the way that the shadows softly accentuate defining lines of your subject's face, particularly the jaw and cheekbones, while the highlights inversely do the same. Each end of the image's exposure spectrum gently intersect and blend in such a way that conveys a stoic, peaceful visual tone. For this setup, I'm bouncing the key slightly in front of and above the subject, so that the soft bounced light falls on all important highlight points of the face, such as the top of the head, cheeks, shoulders, etc. We don't necessarily want to bounce this key directly over top the subject, as we'll end up shadowing the face completely. For our next setup, we want to create an interrogation room, detective interview type of look. This look takes a harsher approach with the key light, so instead of bouncing the light, we will mount the light on a C-stand with a gobo arm and place the light directly overhead and close to our scene subject. Now this particular shot is at a wider focal length of 24 millimeters and relatively close to the subject to make the character appear larger and more subtextually dominant within the scene. The light's temperature here is at the GVM 300's coldest end of the Kelvin spectrum at 6800 K. To complement the cool tone of the key light, I've placed a tube light on the ground aimed upwards to cast a somewhat daunting green gradient splash of color along the bottom of the back wall. Further down the line in your indie filmmaking journey, you'll likely want to invest in various tube lights to accent your key lights in these scenes, which allows you more options when painting the lighting in your visuals. Last but not least is perhaps where this light shines brightest. No pun intended. Okay, it was a little bit intended. In this setup, we want to give the illusion of an open window, through which our sunlight is shining through at golden hour just before the sun sets. For our cozy sunlight look, I've placed a curtain on a C-stand gobo arm, through which we'll diffuse our sunlight and further the window illusion. This time, the light is set at the warmest end of this light's Kelvin spectrum, at 2700 K. I'm also using a small fan from behind the curtain here to add movement to an otherwise still scene. By doing this, I'm also driving home the window illusion physically within the space, because the physics of an open window is like you're gonna have wind coming in, you're gonna have a little breeze. In filmmaking, you do further down the line have to consider the physics of the space, so like wind, elements, etc. These are just 3 of the numerous ways this 300-watt light comes in handy when creating interesting and appealing visuals, most of which I had the light on at a mere 1% intensity. So to calm all of your potential worries of 300 watts being enough for accomplishing stunning indie cinematography, I'm here to assure you that you've come to the right place. What are some of the ways that you would utilize this budget-friendly powerhouse to create a world of your own? Let us know in the comments below, or try these scenes yourself and tag us in your creations. I'm Reilly with B&H. Be excellent to each other.